Hello, this is Mrs. Hastings. I am going to start Unit 9, which is circles in geometry, and I'm going to walk you through the notes. I will put a copy of these filled out on Blackboard so you can print them if you need them, or you can screenshot the formulas or anything you might need. You will then either go to MathSpace and do a MathSpace activity, or I have the homeworks in Blackboard. If you have access to a printer, you can print them just to practice. So this is a review of the circumference formula and the area formula for circles. Just for pure simplicity's sake and not using a calculator too much, we can leave most of our answers in terms of pi here. Okay. So all we need to know is, what is my radius? My radius is from the center to any point outside the circle. And we've talked about these before. If I give you the diameter, which is here, the whole thing, I need to find the radius by dividing the diameter by 2. So my radius here will be 6. I like to always put what does my r equal next to my problems so that I don't use the wrong number by mistake. I then will use this formula, 2 pi r, and pi r squared is my area formula. Now, if you have a graphing calculator, you can just use the pi button in your calculator, or if you do not have a calculator, you could use 3.14, or the closest fraction is 22/7. So what we're going to do here is just multiply our radius by 2 to find our circumference. So 4 times 2 is 8, and you can just leave it in terms of pi. 8 pi, 4 squared is going to be 16 pi. 16 times 2 is 32 pi. 16 times 16 is 256 pi. And then this one will be 2 times 6, which is 12 pi, and then 6 squared, which is 36 pi. So that's it. This is a review. You learn this probably, I don't know, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade math. And you may have done a little bit of it in algebra, but I'm not sure. Okay. Find the circumference in the area of a circle. If I just give you the radiuses here, which is the same, you're just plugging in. This would be 10 pi. This would be 25 pi. 5.6 divided by 2 would be 22 divided by 56 is 28. So 2.8 times 2. This one would just stay 5.6 pi. And then I don't have a calculator. I don't know what 5.6 times 5.6 is, but we can figure that out. My radius is 6 here. This is going to be 12 pi. My area is 36 pi. Sorry, so this one is 31.36 pi. So you can get decimals in math and it's okay, right? Those are the same. We're not going to use this. We're just going to leave it in terms of pi. I'm kind of condensing the notes a little bit. Down here, if I give you the circumference, all I'm asking you to do is plug the formula in. Since my circumference formula is 2 pi r, if you make your c equal to 2 pi r, and then set that equal to 20 pi, and then solve for r. So I'm going to circle my r, and I can divide by 2 and pi at the same time to solve for my missing part. That cancels, and my pi cancels, and r is, the pi's cancel because anything divided by itself is 1, and then 2 goes into 20, and your answer is my radius is 10. Now this also asks me for my area, so make sure you answer both questions. 10 squared is 100. You can just leave it in terms of pi. So that's your answers. You solved for r, and then you found the a. Over here, if they give you the a and you're trying to find the c, we have to find r first. So I'm going to say my formula for area is pi r squared equals 144 pi. Divide by pi, divide by pi. r squared equals 144. So to get rid of a square, I need to take the square root, and my radius is 12. Then my circumference will be 24 pi. Okay, so in this question, they didn't ask you for the radius, they just asked you for the circumference, but you have to find the radius first to be able to find the circumference. Okay, you can always go back and watch these recordings. You have your calculator out and work through the math without taking notes if you want, that's fine too. Okay, now I'm going to flip over and do the back. These are kind of new. Okay, you haven't done these ones before. We're going to discover how to find arc length and area sector. So arc length is what is this portion of my circumference, which is kind of the same as perimeter. Does that make sense? So the perimeter is like in a rectangle, you can add up all the sides. In a circle, you can't add up the sides, so we use a formula to find it. So it just wants this portion of the circumference or the perimeter. So our formula for that is we're going to find out this angle is 60, so this arc is also 60. Arcs and angles from the center are always the same. So the proportion of this circle is 60, or the fraction. We're going to find how much of the circle is that 60 degrees. Our total number of degrees inside a circle is 360, so I'm going to take 60 and divide by 360, reduce, my zeros cancel, and this is 1/6. So it just wants 1/6 of my circumference. So that's what I'm doing here. I like to always reduce my fraction first. So I got 1/6, and then I multiply it by 2 pi. So I have 1/6 times 2 times pi times 4. That's all on the top. You get 8 pi over 6, which reduces to 4 over 3 pi. And that's my circumference. You can just leave it in terms of pi. Down here, same. My proportion is 30 over 360. Let's find our fraction. 3 and 36 reduces to 1/12. So my fraction is 1/12 times 2 times pi times 3. I'm going to go find all my fractions in these because I think it's easier to do it at once. This fraction is 50 over 360. 5 doesn't go into 36, so it's 5/36 times 2 times pi times 4. This one is 90, or if you look at that, does it look like 1/4 of the circle? And it is, because 90 divided by 360 is 1/4. So 1/4 times 2 times pi times 4, because my radius is 4. I'm just plugging in my radius. This one wants the whole big part of the circle, not the smaller way around. This is called a major arc because it's bigger than 180. This is called a major arc. So it wants 240 divided by 360, and those both, you can take 12 out of both of those, and you get 2/3. So this green part around is 2/3 of the circle. So it wants to know what is that part of the circumference. So 2/3 times 2 times pi times 9. So now let's go back and solve these. I'm just going to do this. This is 2 pi over 12, which reduces to 1/6 pi. That's my answer to that one. This one is 5 times 2 is 10, times 4 is 40. 40 divided by 36 pi, which reduces. I can take 4 out of both of those, and I get 10 pi over 9, and that is your answer. This arc length is 2 times 4, which is 8. 8 pi divided by 4, so I do just get 2 pi here. And then this one is, I'm going to reduce this, and I get 2 times 2 is 4 times 3 is 12 pi, is my big one. If I want to find the rest of my circle, I can find this blue part. If my green part is 2/3, this part has to be 1/3. So this one's going to be 1/3 times 18 pi, which is 6 pi. You can spot check yourself on this and say, what is 12 pi plus 6 pi? It's 18 pi, right? And my whole circumference would be 2 times 9, which is 18 pi. And those add up to my whole circumference. So you found both parts of the circle. Okay? Now, arc length is always using the circumference formula. Area sector is using the area formula. It's the exact same concept. The math is the same. You're finding which fraction of the circle is shaded here. Whenever it's shaded, you're going to use area. When it's shaded, you're going to use the area formula. Okay? So 60 divided by 360 is 1/6 times 5 squared is 25, because this is my R, and I get 25 over 6 pi, and that is my answer. Okay, you can leave it in decimal form or fraction form, it doesn't matter. This 45 divided by 360 is 1/8. You can always use your calculator if you're not sure how to reduce that. You can take your calculator and go 45 divided by 360, math, enter, enter, and it reduces the fraction for you, right? Remember how to do that? So I get 1/8. So this one is 1/8, and then 4 squared is 16 pi. So 16, this gives me 2 pi. This one wants this part. 120 divided by 360 is 1/3. Looks like it's about 1/3 of the circle. And then times 100 pi, because you're squaring it. Remember area squaring. So I get 100 pi over 3, and that's my answer. This one is 60 divided by 360, and I get 1/6. This looks a little bit like it should be a 90-degree angle, but it's not. It says it's 60, right? So it's not really, this one is not drawn to scale very well. 1/6, and then I have 9 pi, and then 9 divided by 6 is 3 over 2 pi is your answer for that one. This one wants the big part all the way around, so it's 240 divided by 360, and I get 2/3 times 81 pi. And then 81, 3 goes into 81 27 times, and you should get 54 pi here as your answer. Whoops. Okay. All right, I am going to try to save this, and then you are going to go do worksheets that say area sector and area length. I think they might be worksheet 2 and 3, and I'll put them in Blackboard for you. Okay. Hope this was helpful. Now, how do I save?
Sorry, so this one is 31.36 pi. So you can get decimals in math and it's okay, right? Those are the same. We're not going to use this. We're just going to leave it in terms of pi. I'm kind of condensing the notes a little bit. Down here, if I give you the circumference, all I'm asking you to do is plug the formula
not
in.
right now.
Since my circumference formula is 2 pi r, if you make your c equal to 2 pi r, and then set that equal to 20 pi, and then solve for r, so I'm going to circle my r, and
Vegan.
I can divide by 2 and
Go
pi
downstairs.
at the same time to solve for my missing part. That cancels, and my pi cancels, and r is the pi's cancel because anything divided by...
How do we get rid of this? Okay. Let's go. Why is this not going away?
When a screenshot isn't enough, record a video with Snagit. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to use Snagit to record your computer screen and make some quick video edits. From the Snagit capture window, you could begin with an all-in-one capture, which requires you to make your selection and then choose video, or you could speed things up by starting from the Video tab. From the Video tab, there are several options you can adjust to customize your capture, like whether you want Snagit to record your cursor or record system audio, which is the sound coming from your computer. You can also set Snagit to start by recording your webcam here. When you're ready to begin, click the Capture button and use the crosshairs to select the area you want to record. The video recording toolbar appears. To record narration with your video, turn on the microphone here, or turn audio options on and off. If you want to restart your recording, click here. And when finished, click the Stop button. The video opens in Snagit Editor. Use the video controls to preview the recording. If you find a section that needs to be removed, drag the green or red handles to select it, and click Cut to remove the section. A yellow line marks where the cut was made. Once you're happy with your video, use the Share menu to save it to your computer or send it to popular sharing destinations. Now you're ready